Hi there, welcome back to Wolfie's Den. It's a lovely sunny day here in South Wales today, although I believe thunderstorms are going to hit tomorrow, so that will probably be the end of the nice weather we've got. So what we're going to do now is the second part of my series of my complete Blu-ray set. So today is going to be a B. So with no further ado, we'll move swiftly on because there's quite a few to get through. Try not to say too much about each film, otherwise we'll be here all day. Anyway, so first up is horror film, The Babadook. It's a good horror film, one of the better ones. The Babadook. Next up we have Baby Blood. Haven't watched this yet, still sealed. It's a German, I don't know if it's a German film, it's a German make. I did get a little review of it. It is pretty gory and pretty horrific apparently. Anyway, this is Baby Blood. Next up we have Baby Blues Massacre. Another one of these massacre films that the Americans seem to love. Baby Blues Massacre. Next up is a Ron Howard film, Backdraft. Excellent film this, about firefighters. Kurt Russell in this. Good film. Next up with a slip cover we have 88 Films, Bad Dreams. Not sure about this one. It's a limited slipcase edition anyway, so Bad Dreams. Next up, comedy, Seth Rogen, Bad Neighbours. Ooh. Next up, with Jeff Bridges, we have Bad Times at the El Royale. This is a bit of a gangster type film. Like Pulp Fiction-ish maybe, not too sure. Nice slip cover on this one. Next up we have the Banana Splits movie. Got a feeling this is not like the original TV series though. No, this is a horror version of Banana Splits by the looks of it. Next up we have The Barn and The Barn 2, which quite hard to get this one. I think The Barn 2. Both of these are German. So that's The Barn and The Barn 2. Sorry, there's the backs of them. I have who's in this one? Don't recognise any of the actors in this. Baseline. I think it's a British thriller, gangster type film. Right, let's just grab a few more. Oh, right. Moving onwards, we have Danny Dyer in Basement. Typical Danny Dyer film, I assume. London gangster type thing. Limited 3-disc Blu-ray steelbook of Basket Case. I must admit I didn't realise I had this, so I've just bought the 4K. I needn't have really bothered really, but shows what happens when you've got too many Blu Rays and DVDs, etc. Lose track of what you got. So that's a 3-disc set. Next up we have a German edition. It's a media book of Batman Begins. Nice little slippy case, protective case. And we've got a glossy book. Yeah, and we've got lots of photos, glossy paper, all in the wonderful German language, which no one can understand unless you're German. But it does look very nice. Pop him back in. Then we have Batman Forever. Then Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition. Then a film called Battleground. Not sure who's in this, just have a quick look. No, don't recognise anybody. Looks like a Vietnam type film. Or a Vietnam vet. Next up we have a classic war film from the 70s, maybe the 60s. Battle of the Bulge. Henry Fonda, Robert Shaw, Robert Ryan, Henry Fonda, as I said. This is a double edition. Oh, double edition with some characters and character cards and art cards in. Really nice for a Blu-ray. Quite a few special features. I think this is an HMV Premium Edition. So that's Battle of the Bulge. Then we have horror classic A Bay of Blood. Mario Brava film. Bay of Blood. Out on Arrow Video. Next up we have Billy Bob Thornton in the Baytown Outlaws. A riot of slick and sick Tarantino style escapism, apparently. Yeah, okay. Baywatch Extended Edition. As if we needed extended edition. Probably less said about that the best. Oh, another nice premium edition from HMV. The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Classic sci-fi horror. I think this has probably got posters of art cards, etc. in it. Right, next we have a Belfast Story. We have another Arrow film, The Beast Within. Moving swiftly on, we have what was originally a Video Nasty, is The Beast in Heat Blu-ray. Next up we have director's cut of Beowulf. Ray Winston, Anthony Hopkins in this film. Next up, if you don't like rats, don't watch this film. It's a follow-up from the film Willard. This is Ben. About a rat. Stuck we have 2 copies of Ben-Hur. This is the original 3-disc collector's edition, and then the remake. Obviously the original is best. That's Ben-Hur. Next up we have Lucio Fulci's zombie masterpiece, The Beyond. It's on the Shameless label. Bit of a, probably quite it's like a glossy lenticular type cover on this one. Probably can't see in this light. That's The Beyond. Now part of the Italian collection, a Joe Diamante film, Beyond the Darkness. The BFG. Samuel L. Jackson in Big Game. This is another sort of a lenticular cover. As I say, I'm not going to say much about these because there's quite a few here. John Carpenter, Kurt Russell's Big Trouble in Little China. Another Arrow film. A couple of films here of one of my favourite comedians, Bill Bailey. Very funny guy. Very accomplished musician as well. Next we have a slipcover 50th anniversary of the classic Alfred Hitchcock film The Birds. No need to say anything about this one. Next we have Black Hawk Down. I think I've got this several times. I've got a DVD of it. I'm not sure if I've got the 4K. Next up we have a Spike Lee film, Black Klansman. Must admit I did watch this the other day and I thought it dragged out a bit. There you go. Next up we have Johnny Depp in Black Mass. And Ethan Hawke in The Black Phone. Some classic Boris Karloff now. This is where the band got their name from. This is Black Sabbath. It's a 3-disc special edition, this one, from Arrow Films. Then we have Black Sunday, Arrow Films edition. Then we have Black Swan. Next up is Blackula, the complete collection. We've got Blackula and Scream, Blackula Scream, Eureka Classics. Next up with a nice slip cover with some embossing on, we have Blade of the Immortal. Next up is the Blair Witch. Next up from the Italian collection we have Blast Fighter. Lamberto Bava's. Next up, Jason Statham film, Blitz. Classic sci-fi with The Blob, Steve McQueen, and from Umbrella, the remake of The Blob. Just some neat special effects in. Really enjoy this one. That's the original, Steve McQueen, and the remake. Next up we have Blood Diner. Followed by Blood of the Vampire. This is from the European cult cinema. Then we have Blood Night, the legend of something Hatchet, I can't read it. High impact horror violence, blood and gore, sexual violence and nudity. What more can you ask for? Blood Night. Then we have from Arrow a nice slip cover. We have Blood Rage. Must admit there's more bees here than I thought. Next up we have Vin Diesel in Bloodshot with an alternative ending. And then we have one that looks a bit like a Nazi zombie film, Blood Storm. Looks very similar to Dead Snow, something along those lines. Then we have, now we have all-time classic. This is Blood-Sucking Freaks. Looks particularly nasty. Quite an old film though. Then we have Bloody Birthday. Next up we have a newish film. We have Blue Beetle. Next up, nice slipcover, 88 Films, Body Melt. Moving swiftly on, we have the full uncut version with William Dafoe, Madonna in Body of Evidence. I think this is like a Fatal Attraction type film, similar. Madonna getting the kit off. Next up, we have a very underrated western with Kurt Russell, Bone Tomahawk. There's one particular nasty scene in this towards the end, which some of you probably know about. Next up we have The Boneyard. Must be some of these films I didn't even know I had. Next up, an all-time classic with Tom Cruise, Born on the 4th of July, true story. An ex-Vietnamese vet, disabled. Next up we have, I believe this is Tony Curtis in The Boston Strangler. Looks like this is either a French edition, I think, I'm not sure. Probably one of his best acted films, this. Tony Curtis in The Boston Strangler. Next up we have Cameron Diaz in The Box. Next up, The Boy. With Chuck Norris in Braddock Missing in Action 3, uncut. I do think I've got the other two in a box set somewhere. Now we have Brahms' The Boy 2. Nice slippy. Next up, nice steelbook of The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas. Now a nice slip cover of Brain Damage. Nice little media book of Brain Dead. Don't think it's German. No, 101 Films. Brain Dead. Then we have Vince Vaughn in Brawl in Cell Block 99. This is particularly violent. Some slightly over the top scenes in this one. No idea about this film. Steelbook edition of Brick. Probably bought it because it was cheap. Next up we have an all-time classic, Boris Karloff, The Bride of Frankenstein. Nothing to be said about this one, we all know this one. Next up we have Bride of Reanimator. Next up is Tom Hanks in Bridge of Spies. Oh, onto the last pile now. We have a lovely steelbook limited edition of Bridge over the River Kwai with Alec Guinness. Classic war film. Returning back to horror again, we have Brightburn, Anti-Superhero. A bit of fun. Next up is Brighton Rock. I believe that's a remake of a film with Richard Attenborough. Might be wrong. Next up is, looks like a Japanese film, Brutal. I'm assuming by the title that it's not going to be a Disney film. Next up, Bullet. Danny Trejo of Machete fame. Then we have the original 1960s Bullet with Steve McQueen, Robert Vaughn. Classic car chase in this film, one of the best. Bullet. Next we have Sly Stallone in Bullet in the Head. No, Bullet to the Head, sorry. One of his films is not mentioned so much. Maybe there's a reason for that. Bumblebee. Spin-off from the Transformers. Bunny, the Killer Thing. Let's try and pronounce this one. Bunraku. I haven't a clue. Arrow Films The Burbs. Tom Hanks. Funny film. Slight horror overtones. Another from the Italian collection. Burial Ground. Next up we have Buried, Ryan Reynolds. Next up we have famous. Next up we have Burke and Hare, famous grave robbers. Oh, this one's a bit of a change. Must have bought this for the missus. This is Cher and Christina Aguilera in Burlesque. Oh, I must admit, I do appreciate a bit of Cher. Next up, classic slasher horror, The Burning. And last of all, on the Bs, we have The Bye Bye Man. So there you go, that's the Blu Rays B. If you like what you see, please subscribe if you like to, and a few comments, etc, etc. And soon we'll be moving on to Blu Ray C, believe it or not. So look out for that. Won't be long, in a few days time hopefully. So hope you all have a good weekend, and see you very soon. Bye.